So today we're going to do the birthday page, the reading page to write down the books we have read through the year, the travel page to track where we have been, and most importantly, the life goals page. Welcome guys, it's Emilia here and you're watching Bullet Journal Engineer. As you know, I'm setting up my 2022 bullet journal and I'm taking you with me through the whole creative process. If you haven't seen the previous video from the series, check it out first. You'll see the link in the right corner right now. And if you want to watch it later, it's perfectly fine. I will also link it in the description. Now we start with our birthday page. This is the page where I write birthdays of the closest friends of mine, so I'm not dependent on those social media reminders such as Facebook. We start with a cake in the middle of the page with 12 pieces, each for every month. Then I choose the covers from the pen test page we did at the back of the notebook in one of the previous videos. I like more warm covers, like different shades of brown, and also red and green for the little strawberries on the top. To look more in perspective, I drew the cake without one piece. Probably I will draw the missing piece on one of the pages through the year like an Easter egg, like a reminder or a kind of hint in the next pages. You'll see in my future videos that I like to hide different pieces of my spreads in other spreads. Now, recording the audio for the video, I see that the cake looks like it's made from chocolate, and I think it's hilarious because I hate chocolate cakes. I don't like chocolate at all. So I will call this a caramel cake, not chocolate. And because the color of the caramel topping is very dark, like a dark chocolate, I use white pen to mark the separate pieces. I also use the white pen to add up more details of the cake, like some glitter hook and some lines. We cover up the cake stand with nice light grey color, and then on the top I write in my native language birthday page. We have a special word for this in my language. Actually, it can be translated more like the place where you write the birthdays, Rojdenik. But anyway, the Bulgarian lessons will be in another video. Now we add 12 lines around the cake and we connect each one with the piece of the cake. Here is a tip. I don't draw the lines on a random place. Actually, before I started this page, I collected and counted all the names and dates I will write down, so I know how many lines to have for every month. You see, in some months I have like 20 people born, and in the others there are like 3 at total. I like the birthday page because it gives me a look in the future. So, for example, I can prepare presents in time or surprise my birthday friends. The next page I love to have at the start of my bullet journal is the reading page. Here I write all the books I have read through the year. I like to form it like a reading room with a desk and shelves. I always like to read near a window, so there is always a window on this spread. You can customize your page however you want and whatever fits your personality. You know, as a kid we were always forced to read books, especially the mandatory ones in the school. But I'm curious, which book lightened up the fire in you to start reading books for pleasure? For me, for example, this was Marley and Me, a lovely book for a Labrador dog and its owners. If you haven't read it and you like simple touching books, try this one. Trust me, it's worth it. Since my main goal in life is to develop myself and be happy, I try to make every page in this notebook contribute to my overall motivation. After all, the notebook will be with me every single day of the year. That is why my vision of the reading room is to make it as close to reality as possible. Well, the reality in my head. I don't have this reading room with big window and many shelves. I don't even have a special reading room or a corner. I have only my bed. But in my mind, the perfect atmosphere is this one. Here I am among many books and I'm lost in my thoughts. And when I see this page, I immediately fall into that nirvana state and I want to create the same atmosphere around me. And here is a simple example how the notebooks keeps me motivated to read, or at least it helps for my motivation. It's time to add the shelves with a ruler. At the top I write reading room again in my native language, and after that I start adding the books on the shelves. I will add 52 books. It's not a random number. This is the same number as the weeks in 1 year. Usually this is my reading goal, one book per week, but honestly, so far I made it only to 38 books for a year, which is still not bad. Tell me in the comments how many books per year do you usually read, or how you track them. So, for example, here I write only the names of the books I have already read. My to-do list, actually, to-read list, is on the dashboard we did in the previous video, and I put them with sticky notes. And actually, I think this is very important and quick tip about happy bullet journaling. Don't write only to-do lists, write also progress lists, pages where you can write what you achieved. It's something like gratitude walk. This reading page is exactly this type. Believe me, it feels way better to open and see what you already did well aside from the to-do lists. I add a few more details to the page and then I start coloring. Because I want to write over the cover of the books, I use simple one-tone colors so the names of the books can be visible when I write them. And it's time for the window. As my favorite genre is science fiction, I will draw watercolor night sky in my window. I will use watercolors of Winsor & Newton and I will be extremely careful with the water and the paper. Even though my journal is with 100 GSM paper, which is average thickness, it's still not a watercolor paper. To make a good night sky, you need either a lot of water on the page and one layer or two, or many layers with less water per layer. For obvious reasons, I will do more quick layers with small amount of water, only enough so the layers can blend with each other. Most of the artists put tape to make more clearer frame. It is not necessary, it's a good practice actually, but here I was just too lazy to put tape around the corners, but it still works, still nice. In the middle I leave more whitish line for the Milky Way. If I add too much color, I help myself with a paper towel to dry it out. The night sky is ready and now we need to add stars. But first we need to wait for it to dry completely. In the meantime, I add a few more details to the page, such as shadows on the shelves. At first I started with black ink, but later on I changed it to grey because it looks more natural. When the page is completely dry, with white glitter pen of Paul Rubens, I add the stars. I have small ones, big ones, and even asteroids with a tail. Of course, the darker the background is, the more visible will be the stars. But don't focus on the detail. If you look at the picture like a whole, your mind will know that on the white spot there are many stars, like the Milky Way. Now we're heading to the travel page itself. Everything I write in it are the countries or places I have visited so far. This page may not be for each of you if travel is not your thing. Since I live in Europe, traveling to different countries is quite easy, and before the pandemic I was traveling abroad at least 3 times a year. Year after year I was traveling and now I've been in over 38 countries. One of the main motivations in my life is to travel and meet different people and cultures, and that's why my yearly goals page is right next to the travel page, to remind me why I need to achieve those goals. By traveling, I don't mean to see Charles Bridge in Prague and after that say that I've been in Czech Republic. I'm talking about lifetime travel in the country, to visit the small villages, to talk to the people there, to go to the bar with the locals and see how they spend their days. There is so much beauty in the world waiting to be seen. But if you don't travel that much outside of your country, you can write down some local destinations you have visited soon, so it's all up to you. Now that we are completely ready with our travel page, it's time for the goals page. Meanwhile, if you enjoyed the video so far, don't forget to like and subscribe. The goals page is quite simple. I always like to divide my goals in 4 different sections. Hobby goals, where I write stuff as learn how to do resin or visit to new places. I have professional section where I write stuff as finish your master degree or complete the robotics project. The third column is about personal goals, such as call your grandmas at least once a week, or listen more to people, or meet more people. And the fourth one is skills. Honestly, this is my favorite one. This is mix between professional and hobby. I write a skill that I think will be really useful to my daily life, but this skill is not professionally connected to my career. This could be, for example, learn to speak basic Spanish or be fluent in Russian. It can be also to learn to draw on a graphic tablet. There are many options. Soon I will upload video especially on how I choose my goals and how I manage to achieve them within 1 year of time. And the bullet journal is the main part in the way of the achievement. So I decorate the page with 4 different colors. I start with a lighter background and then I add different plants, each in different tone. So we're almost done with our yearly setup. Next time we will do, in my opinion, one of the most important pages in the journal, as well as few trackers and yearly memory page. So, yep, thank you for watching and I'm waiting you in the comments. See you next time folks, and don't forget to stay on the sunny side.